Welcome everyone. We are going to discuss the important topic today about the business stakeholders. This word is sometimes very familiar for you. Sometimes there are different stakeholders. It's a common word, like stakeholders. Stakeholders. Stake means sometimes you say interest holders, stakeholders. So who are the business interest holders? Who are the people who like to know the business like a business world. In the business organization, there are different types of people are there we can deal with, namely, owners, managers, employees. You can see here, I'm using a small example of a, let's say, airline. You can see there are owners, like shareholders who own the business. There are managers. You can see people who run the business, like CEO and managers, managing their managers. And there are employees, mainly the airline employees are, the mainly air hostess and pilots. And if you talk about the external stakeholders, we can see there are so many external stakeholders also. Like we have customers, we have community, we have suppliers, bankers, and the government. So you can see by using this uh, handout, you can see we can find out this topic, that mainly internal and external stakeholders. So if you are watching this video, you can see mainly the importance of the stakeholders also we're going to find out, and mainly what are their main objective of their mainly looking, what they are mainly looking at the business, and their main purpose of what they like the business also we are going to find out from today's lesson. So when you go to this case study, the main definition of a stakeholder, you can see a stakeholder is anyone with an interest in a business. So stakeholders are individuals, group, or organization that are affected by the activity of the business. Right? These are the different definition, the proper definition. In the even our textbook also we can see the same definition. We can see stakeholder is an individual or group with an interest in the operation of a business. Stakeholder is an individual or group with an interest in the operation of a business. So there are certain stakeholders we are going to discuss today. You can see there are owner, customer, employees, managers, financiers, suppliers, local community, and the government. So this lesson, before we go to the stakeholder one by one, I'll give some practical example for you to understand. By using a real world example, we'll find out who are the main stakeholders of business organization. For that purpose, I'm using a Sri Lankan, like an internationally popular company, Colombo Stock Exchange trading company, Hayley's. Hayley's PLC. Hayley's PLC is normally a diversified company doing business organizations. Mainly they are manufacturing, and mainly the fabric, and also at the agricultural sector. It's a diversified conglomerate. So this business, you can see the main stakeholder of a business is the owner. You can see the chairman. This is chairman or CEO. CEO stands for Chief Executive Officer, chairman and CEO. You can see the picture of him, Mr. Mohan Panditake, chairman and CEO. And we go to the this is his report and everything, how much they earn and how much they are, and chairman's report normally they're providing. After, if you go to, you can see the next couple of pages, his chairman's report. And look at this page. This is the his other directors, chairman and the other director. This is in this business, they have a chairman and the co-chairman. You can see this is the other stakeholders. So these people we call the directors of the company, chairman and the other directors, and their profiles also we can find out later. So you can see the director board. You can see there's a lady, the representation of a lady also we can see. Sometimes they can be, these are heads of imagine finance, head of marketing, head of human resource, head of legal, head of IT, like that, different head positions. You can see managers, owners, and you can see mainly these are directors of the company. And this is the other part of the photo. You can see this is a co-chairman, deputy chairman, or co-chairman. So you have this company. There are two chairmen are there, the chairman and the co-chairman, and the other director board is there. This part also you can see there's a lady with the director board. There are two ladies all together in the director board. So you can see this is the main internal stakeholder of the business organization, chairman and the managers, chairman and the manager, director board. So you can see after that. So all they are it's given all they are the people's names and everything, the executive directors, and then so and so. And this is the other senior management level, group management committee. So the first photo I told you that these are the owners of the business organization, chairman and the directors who have shares. And this is the group management committee. Management committees, these are the managers who run the business organization. So they are expecting different things. I'll show you. This is for the previously one, the chairman and the board of directors. This is the chairman and board of directors. What they're expecting, mainly profit, right? So they are taking decisions in the board decisions they are taking. These are the head of different positions, executive directors, and they are taking different, mainly profit out of the business. Sometimes they are working full time. Some people are not working full time. They are coming only just for profit, right? Look at see, this is the co-chairman, Mr. Dhammika Pera. He's the richest person in Sri Lanka. So, and he actually have a lot of other companies also to run. Therefore, he actually sitting as a co-chairman of the company. So he might not full time working in the business organization. That's why they appoint some kind of directors who run the business. So they are taking some kind of their profit shares, director remunerations are there from the business organization. We talk about the managers, right? When you talk about the managers of the senior management of the organization, this is the management committee. You can see managing director, Singer Group. Because now Hayley's, they bought Singer. This is a subsidiary company. They bought Singer. The Singer managing director is Mr. Mahesh Vijayawardene. He's the another group CEO, kind of like a leader of one group. He's another managing director of a Singer, because Singer also, Singer Sri Lanka, they bought. And this is the other one, managing director, Deep Product, Mr. Managing Director, Fenton Groups, Managing Director, Singer Group, like that. So you can see these are other subsidiary company managers, team of managers. These are the leaders, like a CEO level, managing directors of the other company, the group management committee. You can see what they're expecting. They're expecting a higher salary, manager salary. Sometimes they might be working, so they might be they're getting salary about like 1 million. There are pay packages are there, so they're expecting salaries, promotions, and everything. You see other managers also. You can see Dr. Roshan, and he's a managing director, Hayley's plantation side. So plantation company operate from him. And other one, you can see Mr. Mohan Gunatilaka, Rakshi Kalpaheva, like that. These are different managers we can see. Different managers who are the industry leaders who are actually appointed by the Hayleys in order to run the business organization. Okay. Now, if we come back to my lesson, so the main stakeholder of business mean, that's why you can find out internal. So I mainly show you the internal main stakeholders, owner and the manager. Right. Okay. I would ask from the Diana, can you read the owner part here? Diana, can you read the owner section? Okay, Lee Young, please read that part. Owners.
Owners. A business belongs to its owners. Many small businesses are owned by individuals, families, or small groups of people. These people are often called entrepreneurs. They are responsible for setting up and running the business. Larger businesses, such as limited companies, are owned by shareholders. Shareholders invest money in a business and get a share of the profit, called a dividend.
Yeah, very good. So mainly business organization, you can see the main belongs to owner. Because it's called entrepreneurs. In my example also, the owner of a business is called the chairman. The chairman, the owner. He's a person who started the business organization, belongs to the owners. They are what they're expecting from here. Owners are expecting profit out of the business. They invest the money, they invest their investment, they invest their money for the business organization and get a share of the profit. They call it dividends. They call it dividends. So we'll see. We got this financial statement. We can find out even the dividends also, how much they receive. The board of directors and everything. You can see the chairman's message and everything. This is the chairman and the director board. So this is the people. This is the person, the main chairman. He's the one who started the business, the Hayley's company, and then after that, the directors of the company also we can see. These are the people who actually run the business organization. And executive director, co-chairman, and also you can see Sarat Ganego, the executive director, Dr. Harsha Kabra, independent non-executive. There are executive directors and non-executive directors are there. So our main important thing is they are taking main decisions for the organization. And after, in the hierarchy, after directors and chairman, the next level is the management committee, group managers. These are the different, like a department, or you can see business leaders. After director, board, and chairman, you can see the Hayley's plantation actually run through this person, Dr. Roshan, actually runs the plantation section. We talk about the the Mr. Roshan Gunatilaka. He's the one. Hayley's fabric site is run by Dr. Darshi Talpever, the head of group human resource, legal and corporate. So she's the head of legal part, legal and human resource and corporate communication one, and like that. So many things, like a group managing director, Alumex group, and you can see the Marbach group managing director, and group chief financial officer. You can see, like that. There are financial heads are there, marketing heads are there, and then different heads, single company. And Andrew Yang, we can see managing director, Deep Product Group, so one of the most exported oriented company in Sri Lanka, right? These are the managers. So what the managers are expecting a salary by working in an organization. They're expecting a good salaries, promotions, remuneration, like company maintained vehicle, driver, sometimes housing allowance, fuel allowance, different allowances are they expected. So these are the main, you can see in my next stage, you can see that we are talking about the employees and the managers. So you'll go to the next part. We talk about the managers. First of all, managers helps to run the most businesses. They are often employed to run the different department in a business, such as marketing, production, finance, and human resource. So managers have to lead teams, solve problems, make decisions, and settle disputes and motivate workers. And managers like to help to plan the direction of the business with its owners, and they also have to control the resources such as finance, equipment, time, and people. Managers are also accountable to the owners, and this means they have to take the responsibility if things go wrong. Like that, you can find out the managers are the responsible people to the owners. So main two internal stakeholders discussed. The other internal stakeholder important one is employees. Employees in every organization, there are so many employees are there. After the managers, you can see the different other people are normally employees. You can see, look at the group management committee and everything. Hayley's board of directors is a hierarchy. You can see the shareholders and the board of directors goes like that. And then remuneration committees, audit committees, chairman, CEO. And then you can see group management committees is there. And then after that, you can see these are the other employees, secretaries are there, group IT, finance, group sustainability, and group internal audit, group HR. These are the main departments of the organization. You can see the employees, number of employees in the organization, also composition, executives. These are the key, non-executives, independents. This is the main, you can see their main diversified business sectors: shipping, logistic, entrepreneurship, legal, financial, hospitality, technical, like that. So you can see gender diversity of the employees: male, female, 9% females, 91% male. So it's the business tree. Normally, the manufacturing business sector is mainly dominated by males. You can see 91% males, 9% females. Age diversity wise, you can see, and you can see tenure of service. You can see that wise. You can see all this is a board composition, group board composition, and everything. After that, they are giving how there are workers, there are number of employees in the organization. You can see the Hayley's, the shareholders, it's a stakeholders they're mapping. It's called the stakeholder map. So the stakeholder map, you can see the business of the Hayley's. 181 companies they have. Out of that, 15 companies are public listed companies, and they have 14. You can see 32 overseas companies are there in 14 countries in 12 business sectors. It's a large company. So you can see the group structure. They have 181 companies altogether, which 15 public listed companies in the Colombo Stock Exchange, right? And then you can see overseas companies are located in the, you can see 32 overseas companies also there in different countries like Malaysia, Singapore, USA, like that. And then in 14 different countries and in 12 sectors. This is a structure of the business organization. And you can see the stakeholders of the business. There are shareholders, you can see the employees, internal and business integrity. Environment also another stakeholder, right? Because it's another external stakeholder. Environment. Consumer is another external stakeholder. Corporate responsibility, public activities, conflict of interest, so many things. Regulatory compliance, competitors are there. So this is all, Hayley is the main important stakeholder gap we can see along with the employees. So a lot of employees are working. Imagine 181 companies. Imagine the number of organizations they are running. So like that, the business organizations are, you can divide it into stakeholders into two sectors: internal and external. Internal and external. This classification I can see you like that: internal and external. Internal stakeholders are the group peoples within the business organization, like owners and workers. External stakeholders means the group outside the business organization. So you should know the difference between internal and external. Internal means stakeholders within the business. External stakeholders mean outside the business organization, like in the community. Right? You can see the main internal stakeholders are owners, managers, and workers. Owners, managers, and employees. And external stakeholders are, you can see, customers, suppliers, and community. Right? You can see main owner, we talk about the owner, like a chairman, we're expecting the profit and dividends. And we talk about next one is a customer. Customer, normally the people who buying goods and services from the business organization. So what they mainly expect from the business organization, the quality product, right? Quality product. If I'm a customer, imagine a person who consuming, imagine electricity. So I expect a good consistent service, right? Service. Example, electricity consumers want a service, continuous service without breakdown, right? Even if you imagine a person who actually purchasing from a restaurant, and I'm order some kind of, let's say, a lunch packets, then what happen? I'm expecting a quality lunch packet at a fair price. So that's, as a customer point of view, always we're expecting a quality product at a fair price. So that's the main expectation of customer, and that's why after entrepreneurs, there's a reason why after entrepreneurs, why after owners, they are mentioning customers as a number 2, because customer is most important stakeholder, because this is the only stakeholder who bring cash into the business, who bring money into the business, not the employees, not the managers. Business has to pay them the payroll. Managers, they have to pay their salaries, right? But customers is the only business stakeholder who brings money into the business, cash into the business. Therefore, this external stakeholder is really important. Sometimes in business world, we know them, customer is the king. Customer is the king, right? Because business not depend, is actually customer not depending on the business. Business is depending on the customer. Imagine the customers are not coming, then no business, no revenue, no sales, no money. Then business has to eventually close down. Therefore, important one is the customer. That's why sometimes customer relations, marketing departments, they are researching about them and to satisfy their needs and wants. So yeah, in business study, we have very good prominent priority we are giving for our customers. And other one is employees. According to Jack Ma, the famous person who was Amazon, AliExpress, the AliExpress company founder, Alibaba company, he says, okay, the happy employees, happy customers. According to his priorities, the employees the number 1. You should treat very well to the employees. Then only the employees will treat them their customers. So employees mean other internal stakeholder, because they are within the business organization. So we can see normally like supervisors and normal employees, laborers, so many like a type of employees are there. Skilled workers, blue collar, white collar, executives, everything comes under employee category. Employees work for businesses. They depend on business for their salary. However, they have other needs, right? They will require training so that they can do their jobs properly. They want good working conditions, fair pay and benefits, job security, and opportunities for promotion. Employees, right? These are the main expectations. Job security. They want some kind of secure job, because they normally like people after doing, if you're going to finishing education, everything, people are expecting job, and it should be a stable job, secure job, right? Job security is a number 1, and also promotion opportunities, other benefits, medical benefit, insurance, some motivation. These are things they're expecting from a business organization. You should know to always you should always motivate the employees. Then only motivated work only you can get a good productive output from them. And we talk about the managers also. So managers are normally above the employees normally, but managers expecting the same thing like employees. Other than that, they're expecting some training, development, promotions, everything, because their responsibility is higher than employees. They're getting more responsibility than a normal average employee, and they're taking so much of risk also. Therefore, managers normally get paid, and their benefits are higher than a normal worker. Okay, other parties are financiers. Financiers mean the bankers. If you go through this one again, like the organization, the business organization have different, banking partners are there. Corporate governance, you can see so many banking partners you can see in the business organization, like Sri Lankan, because 181 companies. So they have to take especially they have to take the like a banking and everything. So you can see the company structure, everything exceptional, everything. You can see so many sectors they are performing: plantation, textile, construction, agriculture, industry, transportation. Imagine how many sectors they are operating. So over the financial statement, you can see there are all these companies, a consolidated company. So there are so many banking partners are there, because there are how many workers they have. So everything you can see, this organization, they need bankers. So financiers or bankers mean they're expecting to give some kind of like a bank loans to this business organization. So the banking organization, they're expecting to pay their loans in full and on time. So financiers lend money to a business, and they may be banks, but could be individuals also, such as family members, private investors. This is for the small business I'm talking, right? For large businesses, always it's not family members. Large businesses, it can be like a banks, and sometimes it can be venture capitalists, investment companies are there, venture capitalist, and clearly these stakeholders have a financial interest in a business and will be keen for it to do well. So they always expect, that's why sometimes bankers, they're asking grant, bank loans and everything, bank overdraft facilities, they are granting in order to run the business. So every business organization, banking partner is crucial. You must have a proper banking partner. That's why you call partner. Partner means you're helping in your trouble, right? So that always, that is important. Okay, next part is a supplier. Supply chain management also really important. Okay, I'll invite to read the supplier section. Right. Lithil, can you read the supplier?
Sorry, sir?
Supply, can you read the supplier section?
Businesses that provide raw materials, parts, commercial services, and utilities such as electricity and water to other businesses are called suppliers. Relations between businesses and their suppliers must be good because they rely on each other. Businesses want good quality resources at reasonable prices. In return, suppliers will require prompt payment and regular orders.
Yeah. The main thing, that's why suppliers are really important. You have to identify in a given case study what is a supplier. For example, if it is a say drumming school, like 2020 paper, it came from a drumming school. So drumming school main suppliers are the music providers, the suppliers of the music instruments. We talk about the airline, who are the suppliers, you can see fuel companies, suppliers of, and also the spare parts, materials, catering suppliers are there, like that. Ticketing, these are the suppliers. Okay, that's important. Suppliers, what they're expecting, a continuation of orders and payment on time. Those are the only two things they're expecting: the continuation of orders and payment on time. Right. Okay, the local community, like Talia, can you read the local community section?
Yes, the local community. Most businesses are likely to have an impact on the local community. A business may employ a lot of people who live in the local community. If the business does well, the local community may benefit. There may be more jobs, more overtime, and possibly higher pay. In contrast, a business may be criticized by the local community. For example, if the owners of a noisy factory decide to introduce night shifts, there may be complaints for local residents.
Exactly. So local community expect, thank you. So mainly local community expects some certain things, like mainly like a peaceful environment. That's the first thing they're expecting from a local community, from the business organization. They don't want any disturbance, especially sometimes, especially pollution. When you are sleeping, like if there's a huge noise comes from the businesses, right? Next door is a business organization, their factory working, generators are working, and you have proper sleep? Can you have peaceful sleep? No. So community mainly expecting, that's why if you are the business organization, if you're in a residential area, must be very careful with the community, especially the pollution. And also the community people, they're expecting some kind of other contribution also, sometimes job opportunities, sometimes they're expecting some good donations, some sponsorships for their community projects from the business organization. Therefore, when you're dealing with the community, you have to be very, very careful. When you're in an organization located, situated in a residential area, not an industrial area, you have to be very careful about the waste disposal, the noise pollution, air pollution, soil pollution, like that. These things must be very, very careful about the control inside, because otherwise community will be, they go and complain to the government, and they go and complain to the police and all that people, and sometimes business eventually uh, sometimes court might be order a restraint order to stop all the business. There are so many plentiful instances are there, the how community will become more powerful. This is the community becomes a pressure group at the end to shut down the business, right? The legal cases, everything. So therefore you have to balance the community very well when you're running a business organization. You have to take seriously about this complaints from the residents. Okay, the other one is the government. So I invite Minsandy, can you read the government small section?
Okay, sir. The government has an interest in all businesses. They provide employment, generate wealth, and pay taxes. Taxes from businesses and their employees are used to finance government spending.
Yeah, so government means, has interest in all business organizations. They provide employment opportunities and then sometimes generate wealth and pay taxes. They're expecting business to pay taxes on time. So every business has to pay government, taxes to the government. So taxes from business and their employees are used to finance the government spending. That's the thing. So organizations, these are the main stakeholders that we discussed. Okay, let's go to some kind of like example. So in my hand that you can see the stakeholder examples. I've given a small case study about the stakeholders. You can see different people have different objective. Objectives are different. The stakeholders are different. Therefore, the objectives also different, right? So this different stakeholder and everything. You have a small homework. You have to complete this table. You have to write down the owner, the small definition, and what they expect. For example, owner, you can see owners are the, imagine, you can say the shareholders or the investors of a business organization. Their main interest is to profit, dividends, right? Customers, you can see the people or individuals, organization who buy goods and services from a business. What is their main interest? You can say the quality product at reasonable price. Employees of people who are working in the business expecting what? Job security, salary. Like that, you have to complete the table by reading above passages. You can understand the shareholders thing and everything. Everything I have given: owner, customer, employee, manager, financiers, suppliers, local community, and the government. So after reading that part, you have a small homework. So read out briefly what is meant by these people, and what is they expecting, and what is their main goals and interests. Okay, now I'm going to like a small session, that's a question and answering session regarding a case study. So in this page number, we can see page number 5. I have given a small case study called Manchester Airport. Manchester Airport, right? So let's read this case study, and after that we can see there have given some kind of question, so we can discuss that question, the questioning and answering session. Okay. Manchester Airport, you can see Manchester Airport has built a second runway, and this has created more jobs. 700 builders were employed to build the runway. So that's your first stakeholder. You can see 700 builders, that's a construction, the workers. And then a new fire station, public view area, electricity substations. New staff were also taken on to cope with the extra passengers. So this is another opportunity for the new staff, like new employees. Opportunities are another second stakeholder. And extra passengers, like passengers also. These are the, you can't say customers here. We can use the word called passenger, because airline we don't call customer, we call passengers. And extra staff we can employ to include the baggage handler, check-in, security, and catering staff. So if everything comes under staff, so employees, you don't mention employees, say with their name. That's a contextualized answer. Without saying employees, you can say employees in the airline, such as security staff, catering staff, baggage handlers, like that you can mention. And second paragraph, you can see Manchester City. The third, you can see another stakeholder, Manchester City Council, the government side, like municipal council. Manchester City Council was enthusiastic about the building of the second runaway. For them, it meant more wealth for the city through increased tourism. The government was pleased with the all new jobs because they added to the country's wealth. So the government, Manchester City Council, was very happy by it was very happy because they again create some new wealth to the country because of the added tourism and everything. But look at the third paragraph that says that everyone not happy, but not everyone was happy. But some nearby villages said that their quiet life would be affected by their traffic and noise. So villagers, what happens? So they not happy. So that's another stakeholder, the community who lives around, because of the traffic and noise come from this runaway and everything. You know, if you live near the airport, you can find out the situation. Always, you know, takeoffs and landings make huge noise. So that's a traffic and noise. Because of that, it's very difficult for them to survive. Pressure groups also another thing, stakeholder. Pressure groups tried to stop the runaway from being built. So what is the main argument? They argue that the fields and hedgerows wildlife could be lost when they runaway built. So wildlife is another stakeholder, environment side. Yes, when you're making that runaway, you have to destroy some of their wildlife habitats. Same thing happened in Sri Lanka in a long time ago when they built the Mattal airport. That was one of the largest airport in Sri Lanka. After Katnayaka, you can see the Mattal airport was it was a bird sanctuary. A lot of birds used to visit every year, but the runaway was being built. Everything was completed, but still what happened? Still birds coming, so it will sometimes become a disturbance. The habitat destroyed, but there is no bird sanctuary no more, because that's the main thing. You have to always try to compromise something for better opportunities. In this case also like that, there are so many opportunities to the country, but they mainly have to compromise the wildlife habitats because of this runaway. But the situation, the pressure group, they like to make some kind of a complaint to stop this project because in order to save the wildlife, but they were not successful. In Sri Lanka, same thing happened, but it was not successful. We built the runaway by the government. So that's the thing. Okay, let's go to some case study questions. Okay, identify 4 stakeholders in the Manchester Airport. 4 marks. Okay, what are the? Okay, I asked this question from Sanuki. Can you tell me 4 stakeholders can you see from the case study? 4 stakeholders. Sanuki? Oh, Sashan, you can, anyone. Sashan, who are the 4 stakeholders you can find out in the case?
So luggage handlers, check-in, security, and catering staff.
Okay, that's called employees. Okay, that we can say as a one category. Okay, what are other categories? Tell me another one. Employees, okay, baggage handlers. Yes.
The government and local community.
Yes, you can say that also. The government means the Manchester City Council. Without saying government, you can say the Manchester City Council, and the local community, you can say the nearby villages. You can use the exact wording in the case study without saying the generic terms. You know, always in the exams also, always give the exact, not the generic terms. We always use the case study material. So if they're mentioning the baggage handlers, don't use the word employees. You can say baggage handlers, catering staff, right? Don't use the government. You can say Manchester City Council. Right? You can say without saying the community. You can say nearby villages, like that. Okay, there are so many. You can see like a 700 builders are there, and tourists are there, like passengers. You can say pressure groups. You can say, yeah. So that's the mean 4. If you write 4 stakeholders, you can get that mark. Explain question normally comes for 3 marks, right? Because I'm asking like explain the interest of 2 stakeholders, so it should be 6 marks, right? This is actually all question. So explain question usually carries 3 marks. Explain the interest of 2 stakeholders of building the runaway. So this case, so I can give this for 6 mark question. 2 explain questions I can regard 3 and 3. Explain question, no need of actually normally application. You're writing explain question answer. You can just use the generic terms. That's another thing in business studies. Like normally explain question, you can just write a general answer. But here I would like to change the command word from excellent to outline. Outline to interest of two stakeholders. Then two outline question carry 2 marks. So 2 times 2, 4. So if you check the outline question, you can say one positive external stakeholder and one negative stakeholder you can mention. One positive stakeholder would be the government. Yes, the Manchester City Council would be happy with the making this runaway because they can make a good income to the increased tourism. And moreover, second one would be the pressure groups. They would not like to build the second runaway because they are destroying the wildlife habitats, and wildlife will be lost if the runaway was built. So they're interested to actually stop this runaway by being built. So these are two. That's why one positive stakeholder and one negative stakeholder. Okay, last question I would ask openly from everyone. What do you think? What do you think that the Manchester Airport should have been allowed to build the runaway, or they actually closed down the runway? What do you think your reasons like? Okay, anyone? I think, okay, Leon, you have a response.
So the opportunity cost of building the second runway is better than not building the second runway because the income that you can get from building a second runway is far greater than not doing anything. And
Yes.
even though the environmental impacts of building the runway is bad,
Yeah.
in the future, as more income is generated,
Yeah.
it is easier for them to go into things like cleaner energy and whatnot, which offsets the opportunity cost of building the runway.
Yes, and also in this, you can mention some solution. Even like there are some practical solutions you can give. For example, for you can give kind of like a recommendation, suggestions. Even villages, if they are always complaining, they have traffic and noise. Okay, we can relocate them. We can say, okay, if you have, but we can find out, okay, how many families affecting. Okay, that's what only 20 families affected. So we can relocate them to another location in Manchester. We can give them some apartment or something, and then we can say, okay, you stay here. So we'll give you some money. We acquire your land and everything, and you can relocate these employees, workers, the villagers. There are some practical solution, and even the wildlife also. Imagine like some people, like wildlife habitats are there. Even wildlife also, if you can relocate, this is there like a sometimes there are like reserves are there. There are so many lands are there, national reserves are there. So sometimes wildlife authority can take these animals and they can release them to like open areas in other reserves, not only in Manchester, some other lot of so there are so many options are there, right? Sometimes even a zoo, if you can like a reserve, another forest, they can release. So like that. So this is the options that always. That's why I think that I completely agree on that answer. So at the conclusion, we can see yes, there are positives and also there are negatives. So then you have to, at the end, you can say yes. So you should recommend to actually build the runway because our advantage outweigh the disadvantages. Yeah. Okay. So that's a case study and everything. So there are two definitions finally they're asking, right? So this definition and everything we can cover in my next session. So today my main objective actually we discuss all the stakeholders of the business organization, internal and external stakeholders. Who are the managers, employees, customers, suppliers, community. Okay, and we talk about their main interests also. We talk about the Manchester Airport case study also, and we talk about very good interactive session about what they're feeling, good and bad. So you have to manage the stakeholders very well. So that's the main objective of a lesson. Okay, well, in my next session, I'm going to do more questions, more possible question of stakeholders, and I'm going to start the business objective also in my next session. Okay, from that I'm winding up my today's session. Thank you very much.